Hey guys, Danelle with donnellsstichery here. So today I'm going to be working on making a quilt label for a friend of mine. You guys probably know him. If you don't, you should go check him out. It's Sean over at The Guy Who Sews, which is his YouTube channel name. And he has asked me to make a quilt label for him like I did before and everything for another one of his co-workers that he's making a quilt for, as he loves how I do my quilt labels with my embroidery machine. So, and on my last little short that I showed, a lot of people were asking me if I could show them how my machine works and how I do this all from start to finish. So I decided this would be a great opportunity since it's the next time I've actually made a quilt label. So I figured this would be a great opportunity for me to do this. So I'm going to show you guys start from finish. I have pulled out my fabric. He is using a rainbow color on the front, and the back of it is a blue. So I found this gorgeous like blue multi-tone, almost like a grungy with crosshatch fabric that I thought would be super cute and great for it and everything and all. He's already sent me a picture of the backing, so I think this will blend in really good no matter what type of blue he uses, because it's got so many like darks, lights, mediums, stuff like that in there. So I think no matter what blue he uses, it'll work great. Then we discussed threads, and and I have decided to go with like this pearly white, almost like a shimmery pearly white thread. All of my embroidery threads have like this shimmer to them. And so I'm going to show you guys how I go about cutting out my fabric for it, stabilizing it, and then getting the machine threaded and everything. And so just be patient with me. As I get ready to move the camera, I will turn this one over here off, so that way there you guys don't get all woozy and dizzy and nauseous from the camera movement. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I do the setup over here. So first what I do is I take my embroidery frame off. And let me grab my little screwdriver so I can take that apart. Okay, it's in my drawer over here. I've got all my screwdrivers in my drawer right below me at all times, so I don't lose them. So this frame here, it's like a, I believe, 4x6. Let's see. Yeah, about a 4x6, 4.5, something like that. So, and this is the frame that came with. So I just loosen the screw up right here. Take these two pieces apart. This one here I'm going to have sitting down here because this is what the fabric is going to go up over. So I'll make sure that I turn, and you'll need a rotary cutter or some type of way of cutting out the fabric and stabilizer. I have this paper stabilizer here. I got this roll off of Amazon like 2 years ago, and I've barely used it. So it lasts a while when you're, especially when you're doing small hoops like this. So I'm moving my pieces out of the way so I can open up my fabric. I'm not going to worry about ironing it or anything because of the fact that I am going to be, okay, so this is a lot larger of a piece than I expected it to be. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use my rotary cutter just to cut some of the excess off. Now I know my thing is about a 4.5x6. So I'm going to cut a good healthy size here. Not really measuring or anything because for one, I'm using my cutting mat so I can see I have more than enough. So next I'm going to do is take my thing here. I just use like just a normal stick pin and put it in here to hold it. So that way there stays nice and neat and organized and trimmed up. So what I'm going to do is I just try to unroll this some. That's a good thing that this pin holder is good for. My little baby dragon pin holder. Hold in the the rolls down. Always make sure you close your rotary blade. Don't want to leave that open. But see, I just try and stick it right in there. I try and put it in deep enough where it will go through, but not have the pin sticking out so I don't poke myself. All right, so first thing we are going to do, we are going to take our stabilizer and our fabric. We're going to lay them down nice and relatively flat. Normally what I would do is press this, but I'm not going to worry about it because it's going to be right in here. So, and that's all flat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this over it. I want to make sure that I got tons of plenty of room for overhang. And this is the way that it's going to be printed on right here, because this right here is what's going to be facing me. So when I'm looking over here at my machine, this part here is facing me. And the words are going to go from here down, right to left. So that's how I want to make sure that I get this set up and everything, especially if I'm using like directional fabrics or anything like that. You want to make sure you get the right orientation. Then once I have this put in here, just nice and neatly enough, I'm going to push this down in here. And it will stretch the fabric a little bit, and that's okay, because we want it nice and tight. We want to make sure that we really don't have a whole lot of movement going on or anything, because you don't want loose stitches or anything like that. Cause any problems. And if you're curious what machine I am using the Brother S as in Sam, E as in Edward, 600. That is the embroidery machine that my husband and son got me. And I absolutely love it because I love making my own quilt labels. Now, before we get busy with fixing that up, okay, I already have a bobbin in here that has white thread. So let me turn you guys over this way now. I'm going to close this. I'm going to turn you around so you can see what it is I'm doing right here. And let's see. I got to figure out how to go about doing this just properly, so that way you guys can get a good view of exactly what it is that I am doing. Let's see. We will move this over here. And we will you guys are going to get a whole new view. The view that you guys have not seen before, because I normally have it facing down this way or directly at my needle. So I'm going to try my best not to bump the machine, or the camera, so please be patient with me if I do. Awesome sauce. All right, so as you guys can see, I'm going to move slowly. We are going to take this. We have it to where the screw is facing me. Right there's the little hooks. That's going to come in. Oops. Actually, I need to. So I've already checked my bobbin. Made sure I had the right color thread and everything in there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make sure that, because this right here, where these two screws are, where these two little notches are right here, that needs to sit right into a groove over here. And this screw here, that screw right there needs to be, let me move you guys back some. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be as gentle with the camera as possible. It's a little hard to get all the right angles. So it's just going to snap right in there. When you hear that snap, you know you're good. Now, I'm going to take my embroidery thread. Does need to be embroidery thread. And I'm going to put it up here. I can't really show you up here too much, but it threads essentially the same as any other sewing machine does. Granted, it is a sewing machine, so of course it would. And it's got like the little markers, as you can see, like the little lines here that tell you exactly how to do it and everything. So let's see, we're going to go needle down, needle up, so that we're going to make sure my little thing up here is in the right location. There we go. I just need to thread my needle. And of course, because I'm on camera, this is not going to work the first time around. Okay, so since this is not one to thread nicely for me, for the automatic threader, I'm just going to manually thread it. So be patient. Oh, good. I got it on the first try. Woohoo! Yes, I get excited whenever things like this happen on the first try for me. It just makes life so much easier. Now, if you have any other suggestions or anything else that you guys would like to see, please don't hesitate to ask. All right, so we're all set up, ready to go. Now I need to get everything programmed over here into the screen up here. And to do that, let me go ahead and turn this off. So when you first turn it on, this is the screen that you're going to get. You're going to get the little introduction brother screen. Then it's going to display like this little display thing here. That's just going to go through some generic pictures. You just tap the screen, and you tell it to wake up the carriage. Now, I already know exactly what it is I want it to say. And when I get ready to type that in, I'm not going to show you guys, but I will try and give you a little bit of a sample. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the letters. I like doing these bold ones here or one of these. Think for this one here, I'm going to go with a little bit of a characteristic to it. And then I just try and start typing. It's all a touch screen. We have the letters. We have the numbers and symbols like $, hashtag, parentheses, all that good stuff. And then we have all the other characters. But for underneath the letters, we have all the capital first, and then it goes through all of the lowercase. So I'm going to turn this away so that way there I can type it. I'll go ahead and type in my name. So we'll go Donnell, and I just use my arrow keys over here. O-N-N-E. And of course, it defaults to the large letters. So L. And then if I was to try and do that, it would try and make sure I got it all lined up perfectly, dead center, the font's good, the spelling's good, have me double check everything. Once I decide everything is good, then I will hit start embroidery, and then it would come to this page, which is where I can try and move this up and down, side to side, left to right, wherever that I want it. And then once I'm ready, I would put the foot down and I'd hit embroider and it would just go. But since this is not what I'm going to be embroidering, I just back up, hit OK, and then I'm choosing number 4 for the letter font. And I'm going to try and turn this back over here and move the camera out of the way because I don't want you guys seeing what is actually being typed up, because since this is for an order, I don't have that person's permission. So be just a moment while I get this typed up. It does not take long. All right, so we're back at it, and I got it all typed in. Sorry, it took me a little bit and everything, but I got it all typed in. It decided to be a little fussy on me. So what we're going to do is, because we want this to do actually first what I want to do is make sure that my thread is in here threaded properly. Make sure I got a nice good edge here of my thread. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hold the tail of the string because I want to get this started. Actually, so I got it all set up over here. Everything's ready to go. I'm going to hold this tail of the thread. I'm going to put the needle down, needle up. I'm going to use my scissors to help pull that bobbin thread up because this is going to be give me my locking stitch. Nice tail on both of them. I'm just going to do that a couple times. It gives me a nice good locking stitch. Now I put my little arm down. And then we are going to hit the green button. And once it gets going, get some good stitches in there. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to cut my threads. Cut all my tails off. And then we're just going to let this go. And then when it gets done, I can be able to show you exactly what it is that is taking place here. Hey guys, sorry it took me a little bit to get back to you regarding this quilt label. A lot of stuff is going on throughout the week, and yes, as you can tell, it is a completely different day. So I did get the quilt label completed. After Iton had taken care of getting it all printed out, I took it off. I used a pair of my snips, really fine snips, as well as a pair of tweezers to get all of those little strings in between each letter and all trimmed off. I like to take a piece of fusible fleece and fuse it to the back so that way there it helps keep all my stitching in there nice and beautifully, just in case, to be on the safe side. And then I fold the fabric over into a triangle form and stitch all down so that way there are no raw edges. And here is the finished piece. Now, as you can tell, I do have a post-it note over the information because since it is for a friend of his that he works with, for Sean, then I want to be able to protect it from being known who it's for. However, here it is. I do make mine into triangles so that way there along the two edges here will be sewn into the binding. And then this edge over here would just be hand stitched down or left open if they choose to. And it's completely sealed, no raw edges. So that way there, everything's nice and neat. If he decides not to stitch down this, hand stitch down or machine stitch down this side, then that's completely fine because of the fact that it's all cleaned up edges, no raw edges whatsoever. So yes, this is how I do my quilt labels. If you have any questions at all, please post it down in the description box below or in the chat below, whatnot. And I can't wait to talk to y'all later. And once again, I am so sorry that this has taken so long to do, as I normally try to get this all done up in one quick swoop. But life happens sometimes. So in the meantime, everybody have a wonderful, beautiful day. If you get out and about and everything, please make sure you give a true smile from straight from the heart, because you never know what those type of a simple gesture of a true deep from the heart smile can do to help brighten somebody's day. Talk to y'all later. Bye.